I was going to ask you about the center situation with Dampier and moving Golson. Was it more Dampier playing well?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Austin actually played tackle when he was at Ole Miss, and when he transferred, and it's a pretty comfortable position for him as far as that go. Xavier almost won the center position last year. It was a close battle, and he came in a second close. But center's like quarterback, and you usually just go with one. And but Xavier's in a really good spot. He's a senior, and both those guys I think are very comfortable in those spots.
You feel like Golson will stay where he is now?
As of right now, but at the same time, he will give us some depth at center in case we had some issues. And Caleb Kim's another guy playing center that really came on. He's one of those young guys that I really think will have a chance to help us next year. And from an offensive standpoint, the quarterback is obviously the focal point that you worry about depth. But center in our offense is almost just as important. So that's very important as far as the depth goes with that.
Yeah, you mentioned the quarterback. How's that battle working out right now?
Yeah, we got three guys that are battling for the position, and I think all three of the guys did some good stuff during the spring. And we'll get to fall camp. Our plan is to get to fall camp and let those guys compete and see who steps up as our starter.
There are going to be comparisons between John and Nick just by default. That's going to happen. Do you see similarities there between the two of them?
I think there are some similarities. John can really run. I mean, he's got real speed. I think he was the scout team quarterback for Florida State and acted like Nick for almost a month, and from what I hear, did a pretty good job. But he's still learning the offense, and but he's coachable. He wants to be good, and that definitely helps him.
Is that a fair comparison to make? Because obviously at the end, Nick really performed incredibly well passing. Is that a fair thing?
Well, that's big shoes to fill. Nick's one of the better dual threat quarterbacks to ever come through the SEC, and but he's got some similarities as far as the skill set. That is tough shoes to fill when you compare a guy like him.
No, recently you said that you believe these next 3 to 4 years are going to be the best you've ever had. Can you just maybe expound on that a little bit and what you see this season and beyond?
Yeah, I just know the future's very bright. With the talent base that we have, with the recruiting the way we've done the last 3 or 4 years, and with the staff we have, and my goal is to keep this group together. And the fact that I've been as a coordinator, when we won an SEC championship and won a national championship, in the first 3 years as head coach, we won the SEC championship and played for it. So I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like, and we're going to have to get it done. We're going to have to earn it. But I like where we're at, going the next 3 or 4 years.
So simply put, you've got that feeling again?
I feel very good about where our program's going, and like I said, I really like our players, and I really like our coaches.
You guys were planning to go to Mississippi for a satellite camp, I believe. Can you just talk about satellite camps in general?
Yeah, and I talked last time. We're still working through some things. We hadn't decided 100% about exactly our strategies with the satellite camps. So, I think probably by the end of this weekend we'll have a for sure idea of exactly what we're going to do. But there's a lot of moving parts with the satellite camps right now with all programs. And like I said last night, I want to do what's best for Auburn. And there's great value when we get players on our campus, at our camps and all that. So, by the end of this weekend, I'm hoping to have our plan moving forward with satellite camps.
How does this event in Dothan bring the Auburn family kind of together and bring everyone?
Yeah, it's always fun for me this time of year to get out and go to different places. I believe I was here 2 years ago, and this was a place that really stood out to me as far as enthusiasm and the excitement. And so, when I saw it on the schedule, this off season, I was really looking forward to it.
Go back to the camps for a minute, guys. Just the one in Mississippi, the one in Georgia. Do you know if you're going to send the full staff to those? By
the end of this weekend, that's when I'm wanting to kind of really get everything on paper and in line. But we have not made any final decisions about anything, like I said last night. But I do understand that we need to do that in a period of time, pretty quick.
Jordan Diamond's indicated he's going to be moving on. Is everybody else expected back? You expect to be many other?
Yeah, I believe so. And Jordan is a guy that is a wonderful person. Getting his degree, and he's wanting to go somewhere and get a chance to play. And he really represented Auburn very good. I'm a big fan of Jordan Diamond, and really wish him nothing but the best.
Cam Toney and Justin Thomas Thornton were guys who we just didn't see very much of in the spring. Didn't really do much even on A-Day. Cam went out there as a captain, I believe. Really didn't do very much. They're still plan to
Yeah,
return?
Cam was banged up, but yeah, that's the plan.
How big potentially was the pickup of TJ Neal?
Well, I can't respond about any guys until I actually get on
So
campus.
they're not on campus. He's not on campus.
Correct.
Coach
Can you
Suckler?
talk
Good.
Prince Sammons and his story and coming to America and now coming to Auburn? Have you ever seen or been anywhere near anything like that before?
We started recruiting, Prince probably about the last month, and really learned the details of his story. It's very unique. He's very motivated. He's a little more mature than most because of the experiences he had, but we think he's got a chance to be a really good football
Do
player.
you think he's a guy that could really add something to that offensive line room as far as just perspective and that maturity?
With the experiences he had, I mean, he's had to grow up a little quicker than most. And like I said, we think he's got the skill set to be pretty good.
You've seen a lot of hardship.
Coach, you're going to learn a lot about your team this year, first game out against Clemson. Talk about your thoughts about that matchup, Tigers versus Tigers.
Yeah, well, they're going to be one of the best teams in college football. There's no doubt. Their quarterback is, either one of the best or the best player in college football. He's really unbelievable. And the fact that we're playing at home, I think, is very big for us. But we'll see where we're at right off the bat. But I know our players are looking forward to it. Our coaches are too. But I know they are as well.
You've seen a lot of hardship and things across players over the years, and difficulties and personal struggles, those things, and family issues, things like that. But going back to Prince for a minute, and that's a really tragic story, Gus.
Yeah.
Have you encountered something similar to that, seen that?
As far as the detail of that, I mean, it's probably hard to compare to, but it's an unbelievable story.
Much more uplifting notice. What specifically does John Franklin have to work on? What do you want him to work on this summer?
I think just getting more comfortable with the offense. You're talking about a guy that hit the ground running. There's a lot of moving parts with our offense. Just getting more comfortable and improving. I think it's more of a big picture feel for the offense than it is one specific thing.
A bunch of Auburn players getting drafted this past week. Talk about just the success of moving on from the program, bringing it to the NFL.
Yeah, we had 3 guys drafted, and I think they're going to do very well. They're all 3 very good football players, and they're very good people. And then we've got some guys that picked up free agency. And of course, last year we had a handful of guys actually made it on teams, and they're going to be with them a long time. And I think you'll see the same thing this year. I guess the last 3 years we put a lot of guys in the league that have made active NFL rosters, and very proud of that. And they're all fine young men. They're very talented football players, and they have a bright future.
Are you able to update some of the injury situation from the guys who missed in the spring, like Kerryon Johnson?
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson, he'll be cleared when he comes back. I think Trey Matthews will be similar. Those 2 guys had shoulder surgeries, and I think they'll be ready to come back, full speed. Once we get back to working out when they come back.
Halsey, Truitt, Kyle Davis.
Yeah. Kyle Davis was close. We thought about letting him do some 7-on-7. We wanted to be safe and sorry to make sure he's fully healed. Sam Truitt the same way. So when they get back, we expect them to be full force. Josh Halsey, I think he's in the same boat too. He was really close where he could run 40s the day we did. We decided not to. But and I'm really hoping for Josh. I mean, that's a story that he's had 2 ACL injuries, and I'm really hoping for him he comes back healthy, because he could really help us. He's very talented. He's the one that tore his ACL right before we played Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel on a Thursday on the last play of a 2-minute drive, and re-injured it last year. So he'll really help us with some depth, experience on the back end, and I expect him to come back.
What
What
about Denson with the shoulder and knee?
Yeah, his knee is getting better, and his shoulder, I think it got fixed a couple months ago, and so I really believe his shoulder will be ready. It'll really be about the knee, and he's worked extremely hard. That was a very tough injury, very severe and tough injury, but his goal is to make it back and be ready, and we're hoping that he does that. I mean, he was playing very good football as a true freshman, and he's got a lot of talent.
Realistically, though, that one, Gus, in particular, with 3 ligament tears in a knee, it's probably a year plus. I mean, do you expect?
His goal and his mind. He's real motivated to try to get that done, and we're rooting for him. So we're hoping it gets done.
Can you make a comment on just the 4 players that were the rest of this past weekend, and what are they supposed to learn from this life event?
Well, nothing's changed from what I said yesterday, but obviously we have high expectations for our players, and we're disappointed. But they'll definitely learn from it.
Yeah, as kids, I mean, just growing up, these are the type of things that maybe some people fall into. So, how do they get better from this, and you put it behind them?
Well, I mean, that's life. No matter what you're doing, if you have adversity, you either learn from it or you don't.
Aside from that, Coach, talk a little bit about the team chemistry. What did you learn about your team this spring in that area?
Yeah, I feel very good about our chemistry. We got some good leaders, and that really starts with your leaders as far as chemistry goes. Defensively, they were flying around, having fun playing a game of football. Offensively, we had some leaders step up. And our chemistry feels good, and then also with our coaches. Our chemistry with our coaches, they're all going the same direction. And just from a head coaching standpoint, that's a great feeling.
Last question.
I think last night you told the fans of LaGrange your number one goal is to have a top 10 defense. What makes you believe that and be able to do that at Auburn when it hasn't been done in about 10 years?
Yeah, well, when I came here as a coordinator in 2006, I believe when I was Arkansas, they were number 2 in the country in defense. And this is a place you can do that. And, I think we're on our way to building it. Second half of last year, you saw that kind of change, and the way we played in the bowl game was very encouraging. So that is a goal of ours, and we'll work extremely hard to do that.